Hello, listeners. Today, we're diving into Genesis 15, a powerful chapter where God extends an incredible promise to Abram. This story highlights the themes of faith, trust, and God's unshakable word. Even when circumstances seem impossible, God shows us that He always fulfills His promises. Let's get started. After Abram's victory in battle, he finds himself pondering God's earlier promise. God had assured Abram that he would have countless descendants, yet he still has no children. In a moment of vulnerability, Abram asks God, "What can you give me since I remain childless?" Instead of reprimanding Abram for his doubts, God offers reassurance. He takes Abram outside and says, "Look up at the sky and try to count the stars if you're able. That's how many your descendants will be." Can you imagine the awe Abram feels as he gazes at the expansive night sky? Despite his uncertainties, Abram chooses to believe God, and God counts that faith as righteousness. Then, God establishes a covenant, a sacred promise with Abram. He instructs Abram to gather specific animals: a heifer, a goat, a ram, a dove, and a pigeon. Abram prepares them by cutting the larger animals in half and laying them opposite each other. In ancient tradition, this was how covenants were formed. Both parties would walk between the pieces, symbolizing their commitment. However, here's the twist. Abram falls into a deep sleep, and God alone walks through the pieces in the form of a flaming torch and a smoking firepot. This act signifies that God is making a one-sided, unbreakable promise. He essentially states, "I will do this, no matter what." God further reveals Abram's future. His descendants will inherit the land, but first, they must endure hardship, 400 years of slavery in a foreign land. Yet, God promises to judge that nation and lead Abram's people out with great wealth. This foreshadows the Exodus story, illustrating God's long-term plan. For now, Abram can rest assured in the certainty of God's promise. The chapter concludes with God reaffirming the land He will give to Abram's descendants. So, what can we take away from Genesis 15? First, God welcomes our honest questions and doubts. Second, His promises are steadfast. He keeps His word, even when it seems beyond reach. Lastly, this covenant points to Jesus, the ultimate fulfillment of God's promises. Like Abram, let's place our trust in God's plan, even when we can't see the whole picture. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to sharing our next story.